get started and stop this thing a couple times. Just to catch you all up, I did hear about this problem earlier, and so I'm not coming to this fresh. Also, this is my third time starting to stream this thing, so yeah, that's where we are. So today is a little unfair. It's not the freshest the freshest take, so apologize for that. But the good news is I think it's going to go a little bit smoother. Also, this problem reminded me of one I had a long time ago. Not that long ago, a couple months ago. It's a little bit different though, but I think I'm gonna solve it the same way. Yeah, I guess let me let me first actually read the problem here for you. Given two strings, text1 and text2, we're gonna return the length of the longest common subsequence, and then they go on to define a subsequence. It's the new string generated from the original string, text1, with some characters deleted without changing the relative order of the remaining characters. So for example, ACE is a subsequence of abcde because B and D can effectively be removed, leaving us with A, C, and E in that order. A common subsequence is a subsequence that exists in both. If there is no common subsequence, remove 0 or return 0. So in this example, we got ABCDE, just like the description, ACE. The output is 3 because we have A, C, and E in that order. Down here, we should get 3 because they're both completely equal. So the problem that I've seen before, I might even be able to find it. Leak code, airports, holidays, something like that. Let's see here. It was pretty similar to this one. I don't think it was exactly this one, but in this one, it's a medium as well. There are a couple cities connected by flights. The flights form a directive of a cyclic graph, and basically you can get to one or the other, and I forget the whole thing. I'm not going to read this whole thing. But in the problem I have, which looked a little bit different, you were trying to maximize the number of holidays you spent in each location, so you had to try to figure out how to fly to each spot. And why I'm reminded of this problem is because in that problem, what I did for the ultimate solution, and that was a dynamic problem, is that I kept in a hash of all the locations. So if there were like 3 airports, and then I have my graph to the side that told me which ones could get to which ones. Like B could get to C, something like this. C can get to A. And then the dynamic trick was basically starting at any one of these 3 cities, you would calculate the max. And that's where the similarities kind of are there. So basically, in this case, we don't have to worry about the graph. We just know that it's one direction. So essentially, A goes to B, A goes to C, B goes to C. So if you do that, then it's the same problem. And so the way I've kind of been thinking about this, looking at the hints, it tells us it's a dynamic problem. And here's the real secret. Our grid between I and J represents the longest common subsequence of text at 0 to I and text 2. This has not been my weekend. I want to melt that phone. I want to put it in the microwave. All right, sorry about that. Text at 0 to I and text at 2 to J. And this kind of hurts my head, but I think I understand what it's saying. But the way I kind of have kind of internalized this is basically if you take 2 strings, I'll just take the first example where it was like, what was it, A, B, C, D, E? And you have a matrix, and you think about the problem like this one, where you're looking at ACE, then what you can do is basically look at every combination of letters and always keep the maximum substring. And then I'll show you a little optimization for that. And so between me reading this problem earlier and knowing the airplane problem, this one is a bit of a cheat day for me. So if we look at here, A going to A. A goes to A, so that's fine. That's, if nothing else, we've got this in common. So now if we consider starting at A again, and remember this hint here, it said that anywhere in our dynamic grid here, our I is all the letters up to I, and our J is all the letters up to J. So I of 1 means our longest common subsequence between A and B and A, the longest possible value, is to basically kind of carry this column over. So A at A was 1, A and AB is 1. And so what I'm kind of do here is basically the check is to write this out. If text 1 at I is equal to text 2 at J, then we are going to increment our number, something like that. So there's our number. And as we go across, if the item is not equal, then we just carry it forward. We can't do any better, can't do any better, can't do any better, can't do any better. Now, one thing we have to be careful with is that we can never exceed the value of J. So another thing we need to have in here is if our count, so we'll call this count plus plus. So if the count itself is greater than or equal to J, then we won't increment. So I guess I should say if it's less than J. And what that does is it means that we won't double count. So for example, if this was abcde, this can't become a 2 because the size of the substring that we've looked at is 1, so it can never be greater than 1. So another, another optimization here is actually to say, after we've seen this at 1, we can actually skip to the next row. So you can kind of like imagine all these guys are the same, and it doesn't matter if it's matching or not. Because the most you can ever have of a substring with this whole string is 1, because we've only looked at 1 for the second one. So when it comes to look at the second one, we do the same thing. We look at text at I, it's this one, and J is this one. They're not equal, so we carry the value down, or if you prefer thinking about carrying it from the right, whatever, it's our count continues. Is that right? I'm trying to figure out if I need to keep a total count or if it needs to be like a row count. I don't know, we'll see. When we get to B, C does not equal B, so we carry forward. C does equal C. So here we know we can increment. When we get to C equals D, we can carry this forward, carry it forward. And when it gets to E, we know carry it forward, 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 because E equals E. So our runtime for that is going to be the size of this times the size of this, which is a bit much. It's not n squared, it's m times n. where m is the length of this string and n is the length of this string. Well, is this a right solution? It's easy enough to code, which I like, but I haven't really thought through all the use cases here. So what? I could have dipped out here and just gone to the next line, because once I know I have 2, I know that I will never go back down from 2. So regardless of whether this one matches this one, I know that I've always at least got a 2. All right. So we can see my memory space is pretty big if it's going to do it this way, but ultimately we only need to keep 1 row here. And do I even need that? Can I do this with only keeping a single variable? Let's try it. So we're going to look at each of these, and I'll throw some weird stuff in here just to see how it goes. So a equals 1. Yes. So we can break out of this loop. Continue. All right, our count is 1. Now we're looking at 2. Let's see. We're going all the way across. So I'll just do that. And 2 is less than or equal to j. So we've got down there. 0, 1, 2. So it does need to be less than or equal to. No, less than is good. Okay. So count goes up to 2. Nothing. B. Now this one's interesting. So here's where my single variable thing falls apart. This isn't going to work, because I do find this, so I would raise my count from a 2 to a 3, and that's not true. ACB is not a valid substring. Okay, so wait a second. So what? What if I didn't look at these 2 indexes? Meaning, like, when I come down to this, if I just started at, instead of x equals 0, I only march forward. So I wouldn't even compare this. Nope. I can't do that, because potentially we could get, we could have like a B and a C here, or something that like if I had something like this, A, B, C, then this isn't going to work. Is that true? All right, so in this case, we should have a count of 3 because A, B, C is there. So we get a 1 from that. We can skip to the next row. Here again, we get a 2 from that. Skip to the next row. Well, I guess that works out, actually. So I could have done that with 1 variable. Because they don't have to be contiguous. Okay, I mean, I think this works. Trying to think if there's anything else. Here, I do need to be careful that I don't. I already got that case. I don't check greater than A, so I wouldn't count this one twice in case it did have an A, B, C. No, I think, what else could it be? What if it was like we already did this. In this case, it's actually the same, so we would look at there, skip to the next row. Could I skip this index? Doesn't matter. Just skip to the next row. Here I would not increment because it would be incrementing it past our value of j. Okay. Now when it came to here, that would be okay. Skip. Continue on. What about this case? So these guys are not the same. They've got a, put a Z or something. They've got a different character in the middle. So it would go to 1. It would go to 2. Here it would stay 2. Then we get a B. 3 and 4. Yeah, I think this is it. I'm quite happy with this. My Streamlabs looks different. I don't know what's going on. I give up. Alright, whatever. So I'm going to have to be looping through my I and through my J. So I'm thinking about J as being associated with text 2 and I being associated with text 1. So let J equals 0, J less than text 2 top length, J plus plus. Same thing for I. Okay. Now what? Now in here, uncomment. What are we doing? Oh, my tab spaces are all messed up. Wait, is it 2 or 4? Ah. All right. If text 1 at I, which is going to be 0, okay, is equal to text 2 at 0, and it is, okay. Then we, and assuming that the count is less than J or equal to J, then we can increase our count and we can break out of this. So we're breaking out of our I. So we're saying we don't need to iterate any further. Okay. Leave that for now. Now what? Anything else that we need to do? Count is less than J. We will add it up. That is it. Is that all there is to this problem? Let's see. All right. Fingers crossed. Oh, I think I see chat, but Man, I don't see chat. So I see that somebody chatted, but I don't know how to see it. Not sure what happened here. I'm just going to open it up in a separate window. I don't really know how to do that. There we go. Live now. Big O constraints. So what's up, Eris? Hey, there's no constraints on the problem. No constraints given on the problem. I can't spell. What is our big O size here? That's a good question. So, so I think that I am doing a dynamic solution, but now I'm curious. To me, I always associate dynamic program with kind of like taking what essentially boils down to a small recursive problem and like caching in order to, or memoizing is another way to kind of say that. But now you got me wondering. Optimization of a recursion, repeated calls to the same inputs. We can optimize it using dynamic programming. The idea is to simply store the results of the subproblems such that we do not have to recompute them when needed later. And so in this case, I'm really happy with the memory footprint. I'm only keeping one 32-bit integer or whatever JavaScript uses. And at kind of a first blush, it looks like an n-squared solution, which is scary, but I'm only looking at every combination of the letters once. Is that true? So I do say, potentially, worst case scenario, if none of these match at all, say this and this. I would compare. So yeah, it's going to be n, m times n. So the length of text 1 times the length of text 2. So it's not quite n squared. I mean, it's not n squared at all. But so it is better in that situation. But it. So like basically when you're looking at an m times n, then essentially I always kind of boil it down to n. And I don't think we can do better than that, because I think that no matter what, we have to, in the worst case, look at every potential thing once. And so I think that's what we're doing here. I think it's once. I don't know. I'm frequently wrong. I got the right answer. I'm just going to put some stuff in here. Oh, that's not good. I got the wrong answer. And this is a longer a longer problem than I wanted to do. I definitely don't want to trace this. Maybe you can get it better. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I don't mind doing this one, tracing this one. Oops. Let's see what we got here. I hope this isn't like a major hole in my logic, because I'm quite happy with the solution as it's typed. Q does not equal that, so we're good there. W does equals W, so that's good. And I said to break, so we'll just go on to the next one. E does not equal Q, or that. It does equal this. Okay. That's good. So We increment count. We come back to Q. I should have said if text at I equals text at 2, it does. And the count, which is 2, is less than or equal to J, which is 2. I need to this needs to be I. Okay. Oops. I don't know. So we got the right answer on it this time. What about the original problem? Okay, that's good. I don't think we can beat this runtime. I think this might be a 100% solution. I don't know. I can't imagine. I think I could probably change one of these numbers to be like count or something. So I could probably trim it down that way. Oh my gosh, no. Okay. So I'm way off there. That's not good. Let's see if we can trim it down. Looks like the problem might be when there's the first item is much bigger than the second. I'll try a couple things. No. So interesting. I assumed it would be easy to reproduce a problem. There we go. Okay. So it happened when I added more stuff here. See, I still don't want to do all this. Until I get the problem like this. Again, I'm testing by coincidence. It's not good. AFDH. So yeah, let's see. Maybe we'll see it early. It won't be so bad. Yes, we can skip. Yep, we can skip. And this one should go all the way to the last D. Fine. But in this case, how did I end up counting this? This should not have happened because that's funny. So really I need to know, oh no, this index, is that right? Oh my gosh. So I can't set this one to 4 even though it's within the range, so it could have worked. But this cute little count minus equal I check doesn't make any sense. And J doesn't check either. Really, it's whether or not it's the greater than the index of the last item that I saw before it. And even that's scary because you can imagine the strings get longer. It's not like it's anything magic about the last item because potentially I could see something later on, like if these strings, if both of these went on for a lot longer. You can imagine it's not crazy to think that I could find matching substrength much later in the string. So what I really need to do is track this per column. So let's try this again. And I think I could make this much easier on myself, like that. Let's make sure, let's see if this has the same problem. see, I should return a 4 here, even though that's not the right answer. Oh gosh. All right. And even still, we can get this down much further. I don't know. Whatever, I don't feel like thinking about it. Brain no worky. This is not too bad. Okay. So what I'm kind of thinking is that I almost need to know, like, per column what the max was. So in this case, I compare 1 and 1, and then instead of me being cute and breaking, I just do all the work. Now down here, the maximum, based on the hint here, the longest common subsequence of text O to I and 2 O to J, the longest common subsequence between A and F compared to A and S is still 1. So I just carry this number down. F is not equal to S, carry it down. F is equal to F, carry it. And what this means is that the longest common subsequence between ASF and AF is 2. So that's good. O we don't care about, but here's where I'm thinking like the change is. Should I carry the 2 across? Or should it not be? Okay, the question, yeah, it should, the 2 should carry across. So far this really isn't any different. But what we're saying is basically the longest substring between this whole thing and this whole thing is still 2, and that's good. When it comes time to do the D needs to carry it down. So I think that's where I was messing up, because I was trying to carry this down to the next row, and it shouldn't be. It needs to be per row. So the D is 1, 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 or sorry, not 1, you carry it down, so 2, 2, 2. Now D equals D, D equals 3. Now for the H, I would carry it, carry it, carry it, carry it, increment, because it matches, and here they don't match, so we just carry it down. And whatever the biggest number we've seen is the winner. Okay. So so that's good. Now our space complexity is miserable, and another way of saying carry it down is just to leave it. So let's try this one more time, and this time I'm only going to keep one array, like one singular array going across. So A and A is 1, so we know everything else in this row is 1. Now we're looking at F, and carry it down, which means leave it. F and S, leave it. F and F, set it. Everything else gets set to the right. Okay. Okay. Now we're looking at D. So we leave everything until it equals, okay. Now we're looking at H. Leave everything until it equals, increment. Okay. So we need to have a max at 0, and we still need a count, but now the count should always equal start it at 0, and as we go through each row, what happens? We need to have a result array, And I'm thinking that instead of keeping a count, I could just initialize it all to 0. I equal 0I. There's a slicker. I always forget this. I've looked this up several times. Script initialize array, and I forget if there's a slick way to do it or not. If I want everything to be initialized with 0. Alright, buddy, you got it. Alright, I guess I'm extra irritable today or something. My dog is driving me crazy. Initialize. Alright, I give up. Let's do this old school. So if we create a new array, then it takes a size. Yeah, I don't think there's any easy way to initialize all elements to 0, so I'm just going to do it like this. I'm kind of tempted to just do whichever is smaller. So let's do that. Here, let's do this, because I don't want to get caught up on little details like that. So we'll just say let smaller equals text1, let bigger equals text2, and then later, or well, I guess now, text1 dot length greater than or equal to text2 dot length, then it's text1, no, then it's text2. Otherwise it's text1, and then, you know, basically the other. So bigger one will be if text1, then it'll be text1, otherwise text2. Just in case they're like greatly different sizes, this will save us some memory here. So I like that. All right, max 0 for let I less than smaller dot length I plus plus. Result at result at I equals 0. So let's just initialize to 0. Okay. Now down here we need to know the biggest one we've seen so far. We'll start that out at 0. We can never go negative, so that's good. And down here we'll return the max that we've seen. Now, this is not going to be that much different. We still are going to loop through the smaller or the bigger one. We're going to loop through it does map to our array. So whatever whichever one is the array has to go. So the smaller one has to go on top. Okay, so that means the bigger one goes on the outer. Okay, so now if b smaller at I is equal to bigger at j, then what? And do we have to worry about the and here? No. Just if they are equal. So basically we started like this. Let me mix these up. AFDH. We're doing the smaller one up top. And SFOHD. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. This is all makes sense. Am I talking crazy? If item equals item, then result at the smaller, which is I, plus plus. Result at I plus 1. But then I also need to carry it through. So what does that mean? What does it mean to carry through? How do I tell this next one to be 1? I think I could just finish up the loop. Which is to say, we can loop through k, s, k equals to I. K is, I is less than smaller. No, sorry, k is less than smaller length. So basically what I'm going to do is zip through the rest of the array and set all of them at k equal to whatever I just set this. Okay, and when we're done, I no longer think we're going to have a 100% array because this has just gotten too messy between the initialize and finishing out the array here. So that's okay. I think it's still good. The work that I'm doing here does not affect the runtime, but in practice it's going to make it bigger. So after we finish out our array, there's one last thing we need to do. Basically, we have to decide if we can do it. Shoot. Where do we need to do this? I should not set it to I. I should add 1. So if it's bigger, then we'll go through each one of these and set it equal to 1. If result at k is bigger than max, then we have a new max. Done. Donezo. Okay, that was our if. That's our for. We can break, yep. This is our if. This is our for. This is our for. Is there anything else? Alright, so just to step through it, A and A is 1. Now we're going to zip through the rest of the array and set equal to whatever it currently is plus 1. 1, 1, 1, well, that's it. Now, here we go. So it's not bigger, so it just continues. So the value stays the same. Now this is all one array, but I'm just going to write it like this so I can keep track. Everything stays the same. F, first one doesn't match, second one does, so it increments. Every other item increments. You get to O, stays the same. H, stay, 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 increment. We get to D, stay, stay, increment. We already had that one as the max. So that's good. I mean, I do feel like this number is never going to, like, I hate comparing that first column over and over and over again. It does seem like I should be able to kind of stair step it. But I don't know if that's true. I don't think that is true. Like when I get to here, let me just try that. So we start with all zeros, and then this one's going to go 1. Now, is there ever a reason for me to check these two? Yeah, because even though this is the max, it doesn't mean that, geez, I don't know. I should figure it out though. So just because this is 1, does that mean that I know that I can skip this one? And the answer is no, because this column is still 0. So I guess if I really wanted to, I could skip past this, but I don't see the point. It seems kind of crazy. Basically, I would wonder if I could like set my eye further to eliminate some calculations, but it's not going to affect the runtime. That's just going to be a minor deal. I am going to format this in prettier because it's ticking me off. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Life hack. Now everything should... Oh, it didn't. There we go. Life hack. Keep prettier around just for formatting your code. All right, now everything is all the same. Let's give it a go. Still got the wrong answer. Oh my gosh. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong here? I could output my result every step. Do it for every row. We'll look at bigger at J. Do it like this, sure. All right, I feel like I did something wrong with bigger and smaller. All right, so we're comparing. That looks good. This doesn't look good. So what happened? So we got 1 and it carried it across. No match, so it just brought it down. F. F went A. Okay, this is the... Okay, yeah. So we got F across the top here. A, fine, F increment. Well, hello to you too. Didn't expect that. All right, so now we carry that across. That's good. We got a O, so we just carry everything down, no match. Now we do have an H. So H went... oh, I see. Okay, I think I see what I did wrong. Carry it down, carry it down, carry it down, increment. That's good. So here, I went increment, increment, increment. That, or sorry, leave, increment. That's good, but when I got to here, my little function that went and brought everything down and incremented also incremented this. Oh, gross. That should not have happened. Why am I even doing this little fast forward? What if I took this step out? What would this mean? Okay, so in this case, smaller at I equals bigger at J, so we increment the value. Why would I not increment again? So when I did this manually, how come I didn't hit this? What did I do differently? This will be on the top. So 1. And because this represents the greatest sublength between both of these, I should carry it on. So I think I needed to keep that K loop. Now S, carry it down, carry it down, carry it down, because it's still the greatest sublength between these two is going to be whatever it was over here. Same thing, increment here. Because it's the sublength, I should have carried this forward. That's right. Oh, that's it. I'm not supposed to add, I'm just supposed to carry it forward. Okay. All right. I've got some undoing to do. Let's get that loop back. Okay, so yeah, let's leave that. So now instead of here setting it to increment, the result at K, let's see, let's do it like this. Result at I should go up 1. And should equal to I plus 1. Now, here is where we should compare. So that's where we get the new length. Okay, now here where we do the fast forward, we start at I plus 1, because it would be everything to the right of us. But now instead of fast forwarding it and setting it to increment, it should equal to, K should equal to whatever's bigger, which is going to be either the item that's currently there now, because we shouldn't go backwards, or the value that I'm wanting to set it to, which is going to be result at I. All right. Getting some interesting heckling today. Hope you're having a good one. I think maybe you were on the wrong website for that sort of thing, though. Let's see here. Let's give this a go. Let's see. So did we get the right answer? Yes. Yes, we did. What about the normal test case? 3 and 3. Okay, that's good. Those are the 2 cases that we were worried about. Are we ready to submit? Let's see. All right, and let's submit it. Drum roll, please. Wrong answer. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's a long one. All right, let's put back our console log and try this as a custom case and see what went wrong here. It's only off by 1. Like, throw me a bone here. So they're saying my answer was 5 and it should have been 6. And this is pretty much impossible to read. I guess it's not that bad. So I'm starting with, this is what I'm looking at the N. And I said that I saw an N second, so that's where we started the ones. Now this doesn't make sense to me. Why didn't that go to 2? Oh, it shouldn't have. Okay, so we got N. Now we're looking at an S. We came across until we saw the S. And then we started incrementing here. But these didn't increment because N and S shouldn't increment here. So the check worked. The answer is still 1. It's either going to be an N or an S. So good. Now we got a third S. Now this one should have incremented. So back through here, it's not equal to N, it's not equal to N, now it is. So it should have incremented to 2. So that's good. So what we're saying is the longest substring between all of this and these 3 is the answer 2. Okay? And then we got to the U. Didn't increment at all. Nope, that's exactly the same. So P. What happened with the P? So we do have a couple P's here. So here we set it to 1, and here's where I said to fast forward. And that's okay. So it said P, and so it set your value to either whatever this value was, 1, or whatever your current value is. So this one just blasted out 1s. So what we're saying here with these two substrings up to the P, the longest answer should have been 2. Is that right? Yeah, because the P's are near the front. Okay, so I mean all this is looking good so far. Here we do have an O. So I don't have the patience to go through all of this. But it does seem like we kind of hit like a good spot here at the K. And then it just kept going until we got down to the L. So I'm going to be lazy and try just cutting these guys in half and seeing what happens. Hopefully we get the wrong answer. Testing by coincidence. Yes, yes, good. Okay. And what if we did it again? Wasn't quite in half. Okay, so that was all right. This part was not. So let's try this half. Let me save these. All right, hopefully we get the wrongness here, and then we can just debug that much easier. Nope. Well, dang. What did I do wrong with my testing? All right. Just make sure I did this right. These were correct. Undefined 1. Oh man. I think the website got in a bad spot. Let's try this again. Okay, I saved it in another window. So we got the wrong answer here. I'm just going to delete the first 3 characters. Got the wrong answer. Good. Say blue. 2 more off each. This is like the laziest way of trying to find the problem. All right. I think I'm okay with tracing this. We should have the output down here. Yeah. So what the heck happened? So ETK is at the top. OTSM is going to go running down. O is not in it. Fine. T is the second item. TT. Now S is not in it, so it carries down. Now we get to T. And we've already counted a T. So what happens here is we went, no, you're not equal. Yes, you are equal. Dang. What do I do about that? What can I do about that? How do I avoid double counting that? Well, dang. How do I know? Oh gosh, I hope this is not like a killer flaw with my plan. I've already counted a T up here. So when I came back around, I should not have counted it again. It kind of brings me back to that kind of thought I had earlier about stair stepping and not counting these guys again. Like, I should not be comparing this T against these beginning items, should I? Oh, this is painful. What gives me the right to compare this T to that T? I mean, I've already incremented on this column. I shouldn't increment again. Also, okay, this is good. This is fine. I should never have incremented this column. No, I can't say that either. Dang. I shouldn't increment the same column twice because of a match. So it's almost like once I've incremented a column, I should never look at it again. Is that true? Because I can't double count. I just have to know that one of them will work. And yeah, if I see this guy, it's almost like it's moot because I've already got it here earlier in the stream. So what if I did that? What if I started every row at the max? So here, I would say let I equal max. How does that work? Got the right answer. No, got the wrong answer still. Let I equal max. And I is the smaller length. Yes. So here I said max was equal to is it max plus 1? Nope, it's not max plus 1. Because that would always skip the first items, which could match. How do I know to skip this? Man, this is hurting my brain. Anybody have any tips for me? TSTM. I literally already counted this one. I already counted this match. How do I know that I've already incremented this column? Unless I start at max plus 1, which does not seem right. So max was 1. Dang, man, this is hurting my brain. I thought we were so close. All right, let's look at those hints again. D, P, and I represents the longest common subsequence of text 0 to I and text 2 to I. So at this point said O and T, the longest subsequence is 1. That's good. We got down here. It said ETK and OTST. So the longest common subsequence between the two was 2. I should never increment the same column twice. Okay. 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 I think we're not so far off. Now I'm always carrying over from down or from the left. I forgot to wear hats so my hair looks funky. What little is left of it. That's okay. So I know if I've incremented a column before, if it is greater than the one to the left of it. Yes. So because this number was greater than this number, it should not have been incremented. So my if statement here should have been if smaller at I is equal to bigger at I and result at I greater than result at I minus 1. Oh, okay, an even better way of saying that, because I was wondering about what if it's the leftmost item. And so we basically need to know that the index that we're looking at the index that we're looking at should never be greater. The max should never be greater than our I and given an index. So if they're both equal, and the current value, which is result at I, is less than our max. Can I say that? It's not less than our... It's not. And the result at I hasn't been incremented. It will never exceed its index. So it's actually, if result at I is less than I. Let's try that. So I got one. So what I said is that this number should not go greater than its index of 1. So for example, this column should never go greater than 2. Do I have another problem still? Is that enough? The thing I want to test is basically is if there's duplicate letters in the higher ranges, what happens? Yeah, that's not enough. And we can prove it with something like and let me copy this first. And I don't know, something like this. What happens here? Yep. Still have a problem. In this case, I didn't go high enough because it should have been greater than or equal to 1. But in any case, really, I need to not count it if it's greater than the one before it. Oh my gosh. The result is greater than or equal to. I just lost my test case. Let's just try it. I don't know. Got a bad feeling about this. Yep. This is not right. Should only do it when result at I is less than or equal to the column to the left of us. Math.max 0 in that. So it should not go negative. Let's see. Right answer. Still have the same problem. If we look at our printout, it's too long for me to want to trace. But now I'm not counting enough. So that kind of seems like a different problem. Before I was counting too much. Let's test by coincidence again. Nope. Let's hope this does it. Okay, good. Like this testing technique. It's not perfect, but it seems to be working out. Okay. My probably flawed reasoning is that I can just cut it in half until I find a discrepancy. But the discrepancy may not necessarily happen because of one side or the other, right? It could be a combination of the two sides. But man, I really don't want to look through all that. This is too many. What if I cut out 3 in the middle? All right, sweet. Laziness pays off. Lazy, sloppy. Okay, MHZQ is our top. And you know, I'm gonna log that out too. Let's see. Plus something like oh no, that should be pretty close. It's not gonna look perfect. Smaller dot join. Smaller dot join. Oh. It's because it's a string, not an array. There we go. Pretty close. Nothing in common. We do have a z in common. So we increment this column. So this number is bigger than the one to the left of it, as it should be. U comes across, nothing in common. M comes across. Now what the heck happened here? Why didn't we count the M? What? This M should have counted, so it should have gone 1, 1, 1, 1, and then we came down to the H, it should have gone 1, 2. So did I leave something? Yes, shouldn't have been equal. Is that stupid optimization that won't work? So, okay. 2 and 2. Okay, I took care of the case I was worried about in a better way. So let's get rid of this stuff. There we go. Let's see, how long are we doing? It's so weird. I used to be able to see like how long I've been streaming and the comments and stuff in Streamlabs. I don't know what I did, but I don't see that anymore. I don't know. Alright, I will mess with that later. I guess I'm still streaming. Okay. Man. Okay, what if we do a regular test case? Try this again. Why did it do this? I was trying to do the non-custom case. Alright, still keeping my... even though I've unselected the box, I think I found a bug here. Input blank. Alright. Let's try refreshing the page. This is not right. Happy Sunday, y'all. Alright, right answer. Let's try it. Drum roll, please. Ah! Oh boy. So I is equal to add I minus 1. Alright. Man, this is frustrating. Alright, maybe it's time to revisit this second hint here. No, I mean, I'm still... This one is the one I'm still trying to hit. Let's see what it says. Our grid at I and j is equal to... I minus 1 and j minus 1 plus 1, the previous column plus 1, if text at I equals text 2 at j. Otherwise, well, it just gives, this is the answer. Our grid at I and j otherwise equals the max of the one to the left of us. No, it's the one to the left of us or the one above us otherwise. Okay, well, I'm just going to do that then. Apparently the hint is just going to give it away. So, but that's not optimum though. That's not great because it still involves you having a big matrix here. But I think we can accomplish the same thing within a single array. It just kind of changes our middle part here. So we can still initialize one array to 0. And yeah, sure, we'll do this. And yeah, sure, we'll do this. We will go through bigger and smaller, sure. Now, here's what changes, and this is going to hurt my soul, but lesson I learned is not to hang on to bad solutions. So goodbye, hard work. Okay. And one other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear this chat. Because I can. Alright, that should have cleared the chat. I should have done that a long time ago. Alright. Sorry for leaving that up so long. I didn't remember that I could clear it. Alright, so where are we at? So here's our hint. Said kind of strangely. But what we're saying is that, to translate to my terms, result at I is equal to, or rather I should say, if text1 at I and text2 at I are equal, so for me it's bigger at j equals smaller at I, then our result at I equals this mess. Whatever the previous value was, in both left and up, plus 1. What? That doesn't make sense to me. What? If text at I1 equals text2, otherwise it equals the bigger of what's left of me or what's above me. Oh, okay. Well, let's go back a couple steps here and kind of think about it this way. So one thing that I did here is that when I looped across, I always set equals smaller it equal to whether whatever was bigger, what was already there, which is the same as saying up, and what we're looking at now. So I think that's essentially the second part that we're saying here. Is that correct? Plus 1. I don't know, man. This I feel like is the right answer, even though it's not. If they're equal and we haven't already counted it once. I mean, this looks great to me. But this gives me the wrong answer? No. This did the right thing. So how do I get the wrong answer? I guess I should really try to understand what I'm getting wrong before I try to fix it. There we go. All right, so let's try this. Much smaller. Try this again on a much smaller scope. Okay, maybe I don't understand where I'm going wrong yet. What is the condition that I'm getting wrong here? Trace it through, A and A match. So here we go all the way across. B, no matches, so we stick with what we got. C, we do have a match. We haven't incremented this column before. Increase it. Continue. Now, D equals, continue, okay. So we can get rid of that D, that doesn't matter. All about shortening. And even this B. So let's just make sure this has the same problem. Yeah, look at that. They're exactly the same and they don't have the right answer. So if I do this, okay. Okay, so it's only when they're the same, but there's a duplicate letter. Okay, gotcha. All right, so A and A match. So 1, and we don't even think about the rest, we just blast them out. Now, A and C say the same there. Here, we increase, go across. So, here, we see A and A match. So I increment this value incorrectly. I should not have incremented here. I should have continued. Why did I increment here? It's because they're equal, but I had another check in here to try and check if this column had ever been incremented before. And what I did, as I said, is the result at I, which is 1, less than or equal to the max of 0 and I minus 1. So I compared 1 and said is 1 less than or equal to 1. And what I should have done is something different. Ugh. There's kind of a special case where we're looking at the 0th item, because the 0th one should just be greater than its index. That's the only time we can look at its index to determine if it's incremented before. So here's one messy way to figure that out. And this is so ugly. This is the opposite of eloquent. Result at I, or rather, result at 0 equals 0 and I equals 0. So say this again, and I equals 0 and result at 0 equals 0, or this other condition. Let's try this. But boy, that is yucky. Okay, still incremented incorrectly here. What did I do wrong? Smaller does equal bigger, yes. And, oh, it should be not. Should be not. And I equals 0 and result at 0 equals 0. So this should have been false. Or, and then crap. Let's see. I'm going to just put these in below because I'm getting confused here. So, if I equals 0, then we have to look at the special case. Then, if result at 0 equals 1, then continue. Do not increment. Else, we can check this thing. But man, that is yucky. Else, if the result at I is less than or equal to result at the one before us. What is 1? I don't have to worry about this mathematics anymore. So if we are less than or equal to no, this is if we are greater than the one before us, then continue. In all other cases, we go on. So if I is not equal to 1 to 0, we will check to see if the item is bigger than the one to our left. And then we'll continue. So okay, let's try this. Okay, got the right answer here, and it did it because of the right reason, where we did not count this thing. We left this the same and then moved on there. Okay, how does it work with the original test case? Okay, how about some randomness? All right. Okay, so I hit too many keys. Oh my gosh, I got the wrong answer again. And again, it's too small. VSV is suspicious. Alright, let's try it again. But man, that is annoying. This keeps happening to me, where I get hung up on the fiddly bits, the off by ones. I still think the algorithm is good. But I think I've got some little tweak in my if statement that I should have done differently. I mean, what the heck? Okay. My answer was 3, and it should have been a 5. But what's weird is over here, I was only typing on the right side of the keyboard. So did I get 5 here correctly? So somehow adding items here that don't match decreased my final outcome. Like, how does that work? Let me throw this in a notepad. That's a weird one. I didn't expect that. So look at that. It happened. So the items at the top are different. What? How is that possible? Oh, because we're looking at it this way now. So what happens if my left and my right swapped? Did I do something dumb there? Man. We can try that. Let smaller equals text 1. Let bigger equals text 2. So we may end up allocating more memory than needed here. Okay. Still got the wrong answer. Man. Oh my god, I need a lifeline. Anybody out there see what the heck is going wrong here? Let me try shrinking it down again. So we'll make them a little bit different. So here I should get 2. Yay. But then what I saw was when I added some that weren't in the original, my number went down. Didn't happen that time, of course. So what the heck? Should equal 1. Still equal 1. Does adding a bunch somehow mess it up? Shouldn't. Man. Just trying to figure out where the heck the problem is. Oh my gosh. All right, let's find a real problem. Again, we're too small. Let's just look. So J is not in the item. That's irrelevant. Y is at the end. Okay. Z is not in it. Okay. A is at the front. So A goes across. But here we keep the 1s. We don't increment. That's right. We got a Z again, which is fine. Oh my gosh, I don't want to go across all these. Why is it always got to be the big ones that fail? All right, so the J was irrelevant to the problem. Anywhere that numbers stay the same, it should be irrelevant. So Zexu should all no. Dang it, it's hard to tell which ones are relevant. Man. All right, fine. I guess I'm just gonna look at all of them. Do it in VS Code or something. Ugh. Scrolling in this little thing is weird. Alright, what do we got? So where is the problem? I think this is irrelevant. So I'm just going to delete it. This is fine. goes there. I believe a Z is irrelevant. Is that right? Yep. Anywhere it's the same as the line above, it's irrelevant. I should be able to tell if it's the same as the line above it is basically if, I don't know, if it's identical, I guess. So all of these should be irrelevant. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. All these are irrelevant. But I'm confusing myself. Nothing changed, so I can delete it. Here we good. Nothing deleted. Nothing changed. I can delete it. Here we changed. Here we did not change. Here we changed. Change. No change. No change. Change. Do yes, it did change. Okay. Really, I shouldn't delete those lines though, because my my program's problem is that it's not incrementing enough, so I can't trust any of this. So I just wasted a bunch of time there. Whoa, my time and your time. Hey, how's it going? I think somebody just followed. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Keeping it real here on the Coding Blocks YouTube channel. Hurting my eyes by looking at this stuff. So P did not have anything there. So I feel good about P. So how do I mark P as good? Like that. I feel good about P. Y we do have in this column, so we increment it and we let everyone afterwards know that we've incremented. So I feel good about that one. Z we don't have, so we move on. And we get to an A. We do have an A. So A is interesting, but A is a new one. So A doesn't get to increment these guys over here at the right that already been set. We kept the max only, so that's good. Okay. Let's see, I'm being lazy and what if I just took half of the Pisa one? Yep. What if I just did that? Just trying to narrow it down. If the problem's in the front half, yes. Okay, so let's make our lives easier. because that's been going so well so far. So we looked at the A. Now we should have gotten a 4 here. Let me try being lazy again. Will I be so lucky as to get it in this half? You know, anytime when you're coding and you end up doing like the granny method like this, cutting stuff in half the input to see which size the problem is, like but doing a binomial search on your own code or input, you know that you're just in a bad spot. You jumped the shark. I got the wrong answer here though, so I'm happy to see that. So this has already gotten much easier to look at. And let's try it here. Maybe we'll get lucky again. Nope. Let's try that half. Yes. So let's do this like one more time, maybe. Maybe we'll get lucky. On that half. What about this half? Come on, cross fingers. Nope. So it's something about the combination of these two halves. That is the problem. So I think I'm just going to stick with this. I think this is good enough to find the problem. The answer should have been 3. All right. So we have no z's. Okay. So that has no bearing on our input. And we can verify that by getting rid of it. This should have had no effect on the result. Okay, still wrong. Good. Please tell me I'm not the only one that debugs like this sometimes. Hey, what's up, Bickle? Empty string padding to the matrix. You talking about that first line there? Yeah, might as well. It's looking like I'm going to end up running this enough times. Boom. Now it should make it easier to read. There we go. Okay. So looking at it down here, the E does have 1, and it should carry forward. Good. Do we have an X? Yeah, we do have an X, and it's after the E, so 2 is good. It should have carried forward. U. We have no U. It has no bearing. I should be able to remove this from our input. So I'll do that and just kind of remove U. Okay. And now J. J comes in here. J increases our value. For here, I'm gonna keep going. But why didn't I increase the J here? There is our problem. So I don't need these 3, and I don't need the U. I should still have the wrong answer. Yep. Okay, so looking over here, there's basically a couple other numbers that we can deal with. But the problem happens because I've got tried to take a shortcut up here where basically I said if the item equals the item, and it does with the first J, and I did a continue. Continue should have skipped everything else that went on afterwards. So the first case doesn't apply because I wasn't equal to 0, and result at I, this doesn't even matter. So then I came into here and I said else if the result at I is greater than I minus 1. So we look over here when we hit this J.
This was still set to 2. So I think I should have done this correctly. So let me just run this input again. So I kind of messed up my grid. I want to make sure I got a clean run here. I saw the E here, good. There's only one. I saw the X here, good. There's only one now. I saw J. I incremented here, incremented here, incremented here, and I did not increment this. Why not? This should have been incremented. Why did I not do this? So looking at, no, I shouldn't have done it here because they're out of order. Okay, so that's right. Now we came to X, that's fine. And Y, that's also good. But when I came to here, why on earth didn't I say, hey, you guys are equal. You have not been incremented more than your one to the left. Set you to 3, and then they should have also been 3. But that didn't happen. I'll tell you what, let's shrink the input more. We don't need the S or the H or the C to see this problem. Oh, there was actually another J too. So we're going to remove S, H, and C. This should give us a prettier result set to look at. So is anything, Mikkel, and let me know if I pronounce your name wrong. Is it Michael or Mikkel? All right. Same problem here. EX. I can even get rid of the Y and still have the same problem, as well as the second J. I mean, JEXJ and EXJ, I'm getting the wrong answer there. I sure am. So looking at the code, and it's got to be this one. If result at I is greater than result at I minus 1. So I'm looking at this one, or this is what the one I want to be looking at. I'm saying, hey, is 2 greater than 2? It's not, so we should just keep going. Oh, it's this garbage. I forgot about this fast forward thing. Man. This is not right. I shouldn't fast forward. Why was I fast forwarding? This is from back when I would say, once we've got one match, blast out the rest. Oh man. It doesn't even affect the runtime. I was just trying to be smooth. So now we got an expected answer. We got a 1 somehow. Geez, what did I do? Okay, so now I understand a little bit better about what happened here. What a mess. Okay. And to make my life easier, the X should also be irrelevant. Sorry, this is like the slowest debugging ever. But at this point, I've spent so long on the problem that and I'm fine with taking a little bit extra time on this part of it because this is what's biting me in the butt. Did I not get rid of the X's up here?
we go. This is much easier to reason about. So here I said, are you equal? No. Are you equal? Yes. Then I have this thing that fast forwards to the end of the loop. It says, hey, you should at least be 1. But I shouldn't have fast forwarded like that. What should I have done? I should have said, are you equal? No. Leave it. Are you equal? Yes. So set to the max of... No, just always increment. Just increment it. Next, are you equal? No. So because you're not equal, I should say either leave it or take the value from the left, whatever's bigger. So instead of fast forwarding now, I'll put this in the else and say, hey, geez, this is confusing me. I should always take you or what's to the left. Is that right? Result at some number I equals either that number at I or the number to the left of it. Max 0 in that. How's that look? Not what I expected. Say if you are equal. If you guys are equal. And I do this weird checky stuff. Say if you're 0 and you're set to 1, basically you've already been incremented, continue. Otherwise, if you're greater than your left neighbor, continue. Then I increase you. If we have a new max, then we set it. So let's move this down under here. And then you should be equal to whatever's bigger. Whatever you have now, or either what's leftmost, or either bigger you or whatever's to your left. All right. What the heck? This should not be happening. Well, at least I know this worked though. Oh, side note, I'm going to put that little minor optimization back in. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these problems have definitely gotten harder. Today is the 26th, so we've got 4 left after today. Your answer is still 1. How did that happen? How did I see a 2 here and then not set it? What the heck? I always check to see. I mean, I'm not. Oh, I'm continuing. These continues. No, but still, whenever I break. I should not break anymore. That's the problem. Good catch. Okay, just to make sure, I'm going to put this smaller, bigger thing back how it was, just in case. Just in case. Should have been bigger. This is the solution. Alright, so here it had it in the original configuration we expected, and we still got the right answer. And so now, get that back in there. Let's go ahead and submit it. We're still console.logging. We still got the wrong answer. Oh my god. Look how long that is too. What the heck, man? I don't know. Why did I not just do what the hints told me to do? Let's just do what the hints tell us to do. Literally follow the rules. By Felicia. We have const result, which is an array that is the size of text1 dot length, and then for let I equal 0, I less than. Do I need to initialize? Nah. All right. For literally just gonna do whatever they tell us to do. For let I equal 0, I less than text1 dot length. Even this, screw it. I plus plus. Okay. Now also for j equals 0, j is less than text2 dot length, j plus plus. So we're going to go through each one, and then we're going to do this statement. The downside is we're allocating a lot more memory, but the upside is it's going to be a much shorter algorithm. So here, it's result at I minus 1, at j minus 1, plus 1. So let's go ahead and start at 1. But we only do this, I minus 1, j minus 1, plus 1, if text at I equals text2 at j. Boom. If you guys are equal, then result at, that's weird, at I minus 1 equals j minus 1. Else, result at I at j equals math.max of result at I minus 1 at j and result at I and j minus 1. Okay, so what do we need to initialize here? Basically, if you know, if we start at 0, that's weird, because then potentially we have to be looking here, which is not right. So we do have to make sure, like, you know, if it's out of bounds, if result at, or no, sorry, if I equals 0 or j equals 0, then it equals 1. Otherwise, we increment it. Wait. If one of those is 0, it needs to be equal to 1. Dang it. Otherwise, result equals that. Otherwise, it equals this, which also is looking backwards to the left, which is strange to me. Can't I just look at 0, 0? Can I just start at 1? No. Hide hint 2. What is this saying in English? Any item that we're looking at in our grid is either equal to, if they're equal, it's equal to whatever was to the left of us and up of us plus 1. I wonder if we're good. Can we do this? What happens if I do an array, like say var x equals an array, x at 0 equals an array? Sure. So we've got an array of an array. What happens if I do x at -1 at -1? Is it undefined? Yes. So if either of those is 1, we'll just set it to 1. Same down here. Result equals the max of whatever's to the left or to the right. But I have to range check this. So we'll just call it equals I is greater than 0, then that. Otherwise it's 0. J is greater than 0, then it's the one above you. Otherwise it's 0. You just call these left and up. Okay, how does that look? All right, and then our answer I don't even need to really keep a max. It's always going to increase. It never goes back down. But whatever, let's just do a max. I'm tired of being clever. So we'll just say max equals math.max between this and whatever we just set result at I at J2. How's that looking? Runtime error. Awesome. Cannot set property 0 of undefined. That's because I did not initialize my array. There we go. And even this, let's just do this. Next one dot length. All right. How does this look? My answer is undefined because I didn't return max, but it didn't error. So it's a good sign. We got the right answer there. Okay. Okay. JEJ and EJ. Man, so remember if you were here hours ago when I was like, hey, I don't know what to do about this. This one's easy. It reminds me of another problem. I'm so clever. And then, what? Oh. And then hours later, I'm just literally doing whatever the hints tell me to do. I do think that we could totally collapse this. We don't need to keep a whole big array. I mean, even with this stuff, like doing like the left and the up, whatever. I mean, we could, if nothing else, just only keep 2 rows. But I kind of don't care right now. Let's see if this is it. Accepted. Look at that. So memory I expect to be on the high side, right in the middle of the pack. Man, so performed better than I thought. So what's the lesson learned from this travesty? I should wear a hat on camera because I look like the Tiger King. What else? I should leave the chat so that it disappears after a few seconds in case anybody says anything not safe for work in the chat. So that was kind of fun today. And I learned that I should just look at the dang hints, and if I spend more than like 30 minutes, that I should just do it. So let's go take a look and see if anybody did it the way I was originally going after before I gave up. I think that if we'd been able to get it working... Oh, .fill. Ooh. Okay, so they create a DP. They go through M. They go through N. And they filled the matrix. So man, that's a bummer. So nobody was able to do it with a single array. The best answer didn't do a single array. So that's good. So that means the approach I was chasing after for so long was just never going to work. So that is a problem for me. That is bothersome. I don't know. I was hoping to do better than hints, but I should have known better. I would like to... I don't still quite understand in my soul why the problem didn't work. Yeah, everyone's doing a 2-pass. So I should have known based on the runtime that keeping a m times n array wasn't the end of the world. It did increase my space. I should have tried to solve for that first, and then gone after the slick solution after. So that keeps happening too. So yeah, I guess that's something to keep in mind. The last couple days I've had kind of a good streak going, so it's okay that this one did not go so well. Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. Thanks for sticking around. And we got a couple more days of this. Yay. So cool. We got 2 more days coming up and then a real short week. So cool. Hope you guys have a good day. Sorry for all the technical problems. Peace out.